Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at Etrailer, and today we are looking at the Hollywood Racks Destination 2 bike rack here on our 2018 Nissan Rogue. Now the Hollywood Racks Destination bike rack is one of my favorites when it comes to a bike rack that is lightweight and easily storable. So the way this works is that it holds onto your bike at 3 points. So you have 1, 2 straps on the wheel, and then you have this third mounting point, which is the frame clamp. So the frame clamp is kind of cool in its design in that it can rotate in 360 degrees. So depending on your bike's frame, you can move this clamp up, down, side to side, and even rotate it around. And that's going to be able to accommodate frames of different shapes and different sizes. So when you want to take the bike off, you start by those wheel straps. You press a lever, and then you pull up on that strap, and this allows you to rotate it downwards, which I recommend doing. That way it's not caught up in the spokes when you take it out. So 1 strap, and then 2 straps, and then come over here to the front. Please try to hold on to your bike as you do so. You press another lever, and then you release a strap or the strap. This may take a little bit of finagling, but once you get it, you got it. So once that strap is released, you can then lift your bike over that mast, and then you're ready to go on a bike ride. And with the bike out of the way, we get to take a closer look here at our cradles. So here at Etrailer, we actually call these cradles wings because of how they are designed. They go to the side, which means they can accommodate different wheelbases. You have that strap that goes around that bike, and it has a little bit of a cushion that's going to help cushion your bike's wheel, but also keep it secure as you bring this down and ratchet it into place. So do both straps. I highly recommend putting those straps away, even if you don't have any bikes on them. That's because you don't want them flopping around as you drive around. You want them to be in position just to maintain their integrity and keep them lasting for a good while. All right, so we have a mast here that has those frame clamps we just talked about. When you want to access your hatch, since this bike rack does not tilt away, you're going to want to put this mast down. To do so, you first need to loosen this knob, and then that will allow you to take off this stand that's holding that mast up. So let's put that stand to the side for now, and then we'll tighten down that knob again right there. And then from here, we then rotate this mast downwards. There you go. And I like to use the wheel strap on the other wing just to keep that mast secure as you drive around. Let's keep all our straps in place. All right, so this has a weight capacity of 35 pounds per bike, which is usually enough for most of your average bikes. If you do have heavy electric bikes though, this might not be the best option. And for those, we have electric bike options here at Etrailer, which you can check out. One thing to remember is that you do have to lower that mast if you want to access your hatch. So just keep that in mind, that with the bike on, that will be in contact with your vehicle. So let's take some measurements. First, we'll do ground clearance. Our ground clearance is 21 inches from the middle of the tray or the middle of the wing, and then at the very end you have a ground clearance of 17 inches. Right where that shank is, you have a ground clearance of 12 inches, meaning you have a slight rise, which will help if your vehicle is lower to the ground. Now the Rogue is decent when it comes to ground clearance, but when you go up steep inclines like driveways or hills, you still want to know about your ground clearance with this bike rack. As for length, measuring from our rear bumper to the end of the bike rack where those nice white reflectors are, you have it at 23.5 inches, which is actually really compact for a 2-bike platform rack. That's what you get with the Destination. It's light and it's compact. But when you do want to cut down on that length, you can fold this up. To do so, there's a clip right over here you're going to have to take out, as well as this bolt that uses a knob. So just loosen that bolt, and good thing it has a string holding it in place, so you can just let it hang as you fold that up, and then put the bolt back into place to secure it. So definitely want it in this position when, let's say, you're not taking your bikes out for a ride just this moment, but you don't want to go through the process of taking your bike rack off completely. You can fold it up so it's a lot lighter or a lot more maneuverable as you are driving around town. We'll take some measurements from our bumper to where that mast is. It sits at 6 inches. As for from our bumper to the end of the wing, that sits at 10.5 inches, as well as our end of the mast sticking out in the middle. With it folded up, you can see how our window is obviously open, as are our tail lights, which are visible. Our backup camera is way up here, so you're gonna have that full view, as well as of your license plate. That's gonna stay visible with it folded up. Definitely a big difference with this folded up, and it's a great position for when you want to just throw it in your trunk and drive around, for if you want to keep it portable. Let's talk about how this fits into our hitch. So this has an 1.25 inch shank with a 2-inch hitch adapter. I know for the Nissan Rogue, you have 2 options for hitches. You can have an 1.25 inch, you can have a 2-inch. With this bike rack, it can fit both. It uses an anti-rattle bolt with a lock. Now that anti-rattle bolt comes with a tool to tighten it down, but I recommend picking up a 3/4 inch socket with a ratchet wrench, because that's so much easier. It makes it a lot faster. But with it tightened down, you can see that as I shake our bike rack here, I'm mainly shaking the vehicle, showing that that connection there is tight. It takes out that extra rattle and sway that comes from an improper connection between the two, making for a smoother ride for your bikes. Alright, so my final thoughts about the Hollywood Rack's destination is I do really like how light it is. Yes, it doesn't have that much weight capacity compared to an electric bike rack, but with 35 pounds, most of our bikes here at Etrailer are within that range, meaning your average bike is going to have a good time on this bike rack. It does not tilt away, but it is very portable, and you can just lower that mast for when you want to access your hatch. So that was a look at the Hollywood Rack's Destination 2 bike rack here on our 2018 Nissan Rogue.